Day 5 of the Brisbane Test in the Border-Gavaskar Trophy series. The biggest news, though, is not about India managing to draw the Test match and keep the series level 1-1 before heading to Melbourne. It's about the end of an era, end of one of India's greatest Test cricketers. Harbhajan Ashwin today announced his retirement from all forms of international cricket. First reaction, Saini?
Well, it's going to take a little bit of time to process. Bombshell announcement. I don't think anybody expected it. He's very clearly said in the press conference, "This will be my last day as an international cricketer." We were initially expecting, I think, he'll maybe retire after the series ends, but no, it is with immediate effect, and we sort of got a sighter to that. We got a sighter to this announcement when Virat Kohli was hugging him in the dressing room, and there were live visuals of it. Was sort of a farewell hug between the two. It's again one of the iconic captain bowler combinations that work very well for India. But yeah, like I did not expect it coming in this moment. Were you expecting it, because he obviously played just one test out of the three?
Correct. More than that, I think Ashwin over last 3-4 years hasn't played a lot of overseas tests, so we were expecting that announcement to come. I think the more critical factor is India doesn't play a lot at home for the next 1.5 years. They are traveling abroad for so many tours, and Ashwin is not, and with Jadeja's form with the bat is too good for them to drop him. Washington Sundar has risen up the ranks. Gambhir seems to have he seems to have Gambhir's backing as well. So I think looking at all those factors, Ashwin thinks he might not be in the best of form when India's home test season comes after 1.5 years. So I'm guessing that could be the reason for the announcement.
Yeah, I mean, I think even in the New Zealand series we saw where they bowled Washington Sundar before Ashwin came on. So I think that was also a hint that India is finally starting to look at the future and plan for the next WTC cycle, which starts with the England tour, obviously. And again, with the first Test match, I remember there were visuals during the Perth Test where Gambhir and Ashwin were having an animated conversation, and slightly later we got to know that it will be Washington Sundar who will be playing that first Test, and I mean, he's not been the first choice overseas player, but he played in Australia. I mean,
Correct.
And I mean, it just
again pointing to the fact about him playing the Sydney Test. So I think we were expecting teams tend to go to Sydney with two spinners. We thought maybe Jadeja Ashwin one last time in Sydney, but not to be for the great man.
But now that India is finally looking at Washington Sundar as a replacement, but it's 537 wickets that you have to replace, and then there's the runs that Ashwin brings in, and at the situations that he performs. Do you think Washington Sundar is sort of ready to take in that onus on himself?
Seems to have the backing, surely. Definitely has the batting ability. Although we have only seen him in patches in international cricket, Test cricket. Before this year, if you had asked me if Washington was ready for Test cricket, I think most of our answers would have been no. But the New Zealand series, the way he bowled in Perth was international standard. I think
there's still some still actually. But I mean, he got that 10-wicket haul against New Zealand. Correct. So
I think the raw material is there. It's about how the team management managed to groom him up. Nobody can replace any other cricketer, but I think it's their duty to groom him up and make him ready for overseas tours as well, and not only just home tests.
So Rohit Sharma confirmed Ashwin will be leaving back, will be boarding the flight to India as early as tomorrow. He won't be staying with the team, and the Indian team takes an 8-day break, 7-day break as it heads to Melbourne. And with Ashwin retired now, we wait to see if Washington Sundar will be a part of the team or not.